Hello and welcome to another edition of Unpopular Review Entertainment. I am known tonight as the Sexinator. Why is that? Because today we are reviewing none other than Terminator 3, ladies and gentlemen. T3 with one of the sexiest Terminators that you have ever seen, ladies and gentlemen. And joining me this evening is a large group of people because this was quite an interesting movie. And let's get started with Hey Yo. It's Mike Knox.
What's going on, Sexinator?
How you doing?
Listen, I love this sexy Terminator, so I can't wait to talk about it. I'm with you on this one. I enjoy these movies, so I can't wait to talk about it.
Yes. Also joining us is E-Buggy.
Hi.
What's good?
Not much. This movie was fun. A fun rewatch. Albeit having some technical issues, but still entertaining.
And now we have a guest joining us this evening, Mr. Travi 2 times. Thank you for joining us this evening. How you doing, fam?
I'm all right. It's always a pleasure, y'all.
All right, no doubt. And lastly, it is the rain cloud of the show.
Hey yo.
Let me tell you how not only you insulted me twice, okay? All right, and I'll do it by pointing, okay? I don't know which direction I'm going to point, so I'm gonna pray to God that gets the right one, okay? But here's the thing, right? Not only did you put me in last, you said lastly. And normally when people say lastly, they say last but not least. But no, your motherfucking ass sits here and says lastly, right? Like I am least. So lastly, just like this movie, you suck. And we're going to talk about it, okay? Right? That's what we're going to talk about. Now, thank you for introducing. I'll take over from here because that's what I do. Ladies and gentlemen, we're over here talking about Terminator 3, the third movie in this Terminator franchise that we're doing. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it does, much like Vic, suck from here, right? Because you do Terminator 3, and then you do Terminator Salvation, then you do Terminator, I forgot, I lost my memory, and then you did Terminator, oh my God, why did you even remake it? Everybody's old as fuck. Okay, so you got a lot of Terminators coming on here from this one, but we are on Terminator 3 with a woman who was hot as shit, but also just as hot as she was, she can't act, right? That's what we're going to talk about. She could not act.
I think the problem is that she was overacting.
I think the problem is she was not acting. I think that was the problem. But let's see who wants to start it off. Let's go with Hey Yo. It's Mike Knox since he loved the movie so much. Go ahead, Hey Yo, Mike Knox.
First of all, never said I love the movie so much.
Wrong.
Okay.
That's rude. We should actually start with the guest. Travi 2 times. Let's go ahead and start with you. And have you been on this show before?
Yes.
Just once.
Just once. Okay. I must have been sick that day. What movie was this?
We were doing the Puppet Master.
Oh, and I missed it. What was I out of town? That's terrible. Ooh. All right, cool. What are you doing for?
That was such a bad one.
A bad movie?
I'm sorry, it was a bad memory. It was a good show. It was a bad movie.
That movie was.
I've always wanted to see that movie.
Oh, well, you got time.
Watch our review. Nah. You'll really enjoy it.
It's a wild ride. I'll tell you that. It's a lot going on there. But Terminator 3, I feel as though this was the start to the decline of these movies. That's how I feel. Terminator 3 was like the franchise itself turned 55. It just got the prostate check, and it's just started a slow decline into for what? Because like you said, afterwards there's Terminator Salvation, which was what? Christian Bale not as Batman. That was his first. Was that his first foray as not Batman?
No, he did a few movies before.
It was before Batman.
That was before Batman. Okay.
He proved himself good enough to be Bruce Wayne.
Terminator Salvation was after Batman.
Was after Batman Begins?
It was after Batman.
I want to say it was after Batman. It was
because him getting casted
after the Prestige.
Him getting casted as after Batman was one of the reasons why there were a lot more eyes on this because they said, "Oh, this movie's gonna be bomb." Little did they know. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's
not
what it was.
This. Terminator Salvation, which is also a good movie, but I won't interrupt any further. Go ahead.
We can talk about that. But yes, Terminator 3 started off with that's like what is it called? The climax of the roller coaster, except this roller coaster kind of sucks. That's what kind of everyone's got their hands up, and then after the movie, it kind of left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And I think they did reboot the franchise with Terminator Genesis because they dropped the ball.
That was the name of it.
Twice.
Thank you.
Yeah, Terminator Genesis. They had to reboot the series again. They had to start over because they dropped the ball after Terminator 3.
Terminator Dark Fate was actually a reboot as well, somewhat. It was set
They
after
rebooted
Terminator
it
2.
twice, so they hit it with the CPR twice.
Correct.
And I think one of the directors was the guy from Deadpool, right? One of the movies was from the studio that did Deadpool, so they try to kind of bring new life into it. But it's just, again, Terminator 3 is. I'm not saying that that's where it died. That's where it entered hospice, though. That's what I was saying.
I have to agree. I think I at the beginning of this movie, I started like a explosion count because I just knew there were going to be a lot of explosions since Arnold Schwarzenegger just basically had 0 lines until 45, 50 minutes into the movie. But there were only 4, not including obviously the apocalypse. That I think they utilized to their favor because there was not enough. Like there was action and there were great like car chase crash scenes, but there was also like a lot of weird quirky pieces that just didn't make sense and didn't fit to me. Of course they start the movie off with a little bit like a slight casual homophobia and gay bashing and then he gets the outfit and then he tosses the best sunglasses he's ever worn into the street. I didn't know.
Arguably.
They look like they were.
I'm sorry, E. It sounds like you're going out. There might be some technical difficulties. I think it's because you said some bullshit about best glasses. You might want to check your microphone.
Okay.
You're back.
I can't tell if you're serious or not. Can you
I
hear
was
me
serious, but you're back now. I was serious,
Okay.
but you're back now.
Okay, great. I love the bullet catch in the T-800's mouth. I thought that was one weirdly cool, unique thing that this movie had to offer, apart from a lot of really so-so CGI. Like there were some really great CGI moments that upon a close look don't look bad. But then there were some moments where it was definitely like a Harry Potter on the broomstick thing. Like when they first started fighting and they're throwing each other around, it was very much so giving first Harry Potter. And it was just not good. They looked like little bologna logs, just, you know what I'm saying? It just didn't feel real. But there were some really great moments. I didn't like some of the technical things, one of which is, when can she turn into liquid? Because sometimes she can and sometimes she can't. And some parts of her can liquefy and some can't. No one should have to, if she is grabbed, like how she ends up dying by T-800, why wouldn't she then liquefy? In fact, why wouldn't she liquefy when her legs were trapped under debris and then just reassemble herself? So there was just a lot of weird things that were like, why not? Like when she first gets to the veterinary office and she's looking for Claire Danes' character, Kate. She's looking around. She's kind of like trying to use her velociraptor senses, I guess, to see where she is. But I'm like, don't they have thermovision? Why didn't she just scan the whole room with thermovision? And then she ends up using it later. Also, this caught me off guard and kind of made me uncomfortable. But she had this weird thing for blood, right? And it's because she could test it to see if it's who she's looking for, right? Both times she acquires blood, she's like seductively licking it. And it's kind of gross, just kind of made me itch. And then, but then it was also like the nerd in me. The first time she tasted the blood, she's like, nope. When that didn't feel necessary, especially when the second time she tastes blood, it shows how she's processing it internally. It just felt like there was a lot of little quirky things that were unnecessary in this, but I don't know if I'm the only one that picked up on some of that. Anyone else?
A lot of the movie was unnecessary. A lot of it was.
Oh, at some point remember she's on the hearse and she's stabbing and sawing through the hearse, but she's on the soft part of the hearse and yet the iron is buzzing, there's sparks. I'm like, you're on the soft back of the hearse, right?
The movie definitely shouldn't have passed through editing. It definitely had an editing issue. I know. I look at movies like that all the time. I look at movies like that all the time. Like whoever, like those people should get fired because that's your job. That's what takes movies so long to come out is because they're supposed to be in there editing, taking certain things out and fixing them. And I can't, don't know how to go back to that time when all that was when this movie came out. We'll be looking about 03. I was just getting married. Yeah. So like how things were, but yeah, they definitely should have been on top of their shit.
Okay, I do have one more weird thing that is kind of eerie. Woo-hoo, be careful. Okay, so the movie came out in 2002, right?
No, 2003.
3?
Yeah.
Well, it still predates what I'm about to bring up. So originally, Kate Brewster's fiance, Scott Mason, was Scott Peterson, right? His name was Scott Peterson in the script.
Okay.
Also, at the end of the movie in the credits, that he's still listed as Scott Peterson. So they ended up having to change some of the movie to change his name to Scott Mason because they didn't want any affiliation with the convicted killer Scott Peterson. And then it made me think about this timeline thing, right? Like I don't know. It was just very weird that happened right after this happened. I mean, obviously they would change the name and not want to affiliate it, but it was just so eerie, especially because this movie is like a bunch of different timelines. I guess this is like a new timeline we're in with this one, right?
Well, no, what do you mean?
Aren't we in a new timeline since they ended up pushing?
No, this is exactly right. This is exactly after 2. These are the only 3 movies that kind of actually went in succession.
Well, the only thing about that, though, right, is the age discrepancy of John Connor. So there's like a missing 2 years.
Yeah, I guess if you want to nitpick, sure.
You don't gotta say nitpick.
That's like, a nitpick because this isn't like this ain't but just in a future movie. This is a movie when he's out of.
But they altered the timeline too because in this
not
movie,
at this point they didn't. And
they did because in this movie he says, "Oh, this happened when I was 13 and I had a robot friend come save me." But in Judgment Day,
right? I get what you're saying about the story itself.
He was 10
the story
years
itself
old.
Has been all fucked up. But this movie, this timeline was still the same as 2. Is what I'm trying to say. So I get what you're saying. Overall,
I choose to believe that they've entered a new timeline because they were able to postpone D-Day.
No. Well, like I said, all I'm saying is that this movie doesn't tell you that. That's all I'm saying. In the other movie,
I'm gonna infer it.
Okay, well, you get that, girl. Go right ahead. Good for you. I got some extra Girl Scout cookies left. You want some?
Now. Okay, so let me hear what you got to say, Mr. Mike Knox. What did you notice about this movie that stood out that is not just
well, you actually said all the stuff that was the bad thing.
Oh.
So I think enough of the bad has been said. All right. I'm gonna say some of the good in this movie because I think this movie had a lot of good in it. And again, it was everything that my man said. It was the downslope of the series, obviously. I personally think that I actually liked the Salvation. I didn't like Genesis too much, although I wanted to get into it because I'm a big Khaleesi fan from Emily Clark, so I wanted to kind of like it, but I just really couldn't get into it. Dark Fate, I thought, I'm just I watch movies differently than most guys or people watch movies in general. You know what I mean? So as long as I have a good time and I can see the bullshit in it, but again, y'all motherfuckers have Netflix and all these movies are better than every movie that's been, well, not every movie on Netflix, but like 90% of Netflix movies. So I go a home run with that. This movie had a lot of good in it because it had honor in it. It had what you go to a movie to see: explosions and violence. Yes, the story is convoluted, and that's where this isn't, great. This isn't your Shakespearean movie. This isn't, no Scorsese film. Okay, this is supposed to be what it is. It's supposed to be you looking at a hot chick coming in, being hot. Okay. Oh my God, John Collor. And lo and behold, I'm sorry, since my so-called life and my wife watches this stupid damn movie all the time, Romeo and Juliet, there's Claire damn Danes. I'm in this movie already. Hot chick, Claire Danes. Keep going. You got Arnold. And before the homophobic world we live in now, he took that from the guy he took the clothes from. He told him to talk to the hand. He actually grabbed his hand and talked to his hand. Then he used it later in the gas station when the guy says, "You can't take that." It was funny because he's a robot. He doesn't know anything. He learns as he goes along. Then, arguably, one of the most underrated action scenes in movies in general was this movie. In this car scene with this damn truck. Only thing about this scene I thought was ass. Let's keep it a bean. That truck ain't keeping up with none of them damn cars. And as I'm watching this, I'm still saying to myself, like, how the fuck is this damn truck still keeping up with these cars? It just doesn't make any sense. But the destruction was insane. Even when the scene starts off and the guy says, "You better have insurance, pal," and she starts yelling in the back like, "Hey, I'm being kidnapped." And the fact that this Terminator came back because they can't find John. He said that in his his memoirs. I'm off the grid. They can't find me. Well, we're gonna kill your lieutenants. Because the thing about future and why I don't like other worlds like Marvel or DC do movies and those kind of things. When you change the future, you can do whatever you want to do. And that fucks up what you originally liked in something. Originally, what you liked in this was Terminator 1. But it was coming back for it. Terminator 2 picked up on that. Yes, the action and the CGI was very suspect in this movie. But keeping with the story, I thought it was kind of good at this point. Now, yes, acting was ass, this and that, but I don't go to movies. And let me rephrase that. I know when I'm going to a movie to go see, what kind of movie I'm going to go see. So I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go to an action film going, "Man, them motherfuckers sure couldn't act." I don't fucking expect them to. If you're thinking you're going to get good acting watching Twilight, sorry, babe. Then she was fooling herself. She didn't. She liked the stupid love triangle, which wasn't even a love triangle. She told him from day one, "No, Jacob, I'm not going to fuck you. It's all about him." But he wouldn't listen. So you got to know what kind of movie you're going to go watch. And this movie was an action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I can't ever say his name right without saying the N-word in it. Okay, and that's what it was. Yeah. I absolutely enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed some of the things that she did. It didn't make any sense, like putting the face on of the fiance. All right, that didn't make sense. I remember watching Transformers 2, and the girl Decepticon did the same thing. I was like, "What the fuck?" I flipped out in the movie. So I get people determine that, but know what you're going to watch. This movie was an action film with Arnold, and that's what I got. The acting was bad. Problem with this movie more than anything was just the CGI. Who's next?
Okay.
Good shit. Sexinator, you take it because he has to go last. He has to feel like he's the biggest man in the room, knowing he's like the middle man in the room.
All right, well, cool. Like,
there it is.
I am the biggest man in the room.
Technically, you're not. I'm taller than you, and I weigh more than you.
You weigh more than excellence. You're not taller now.
I think you got me by like a half an inch, maybe an inch. I'm lying.
Still an inch.
Okay, you're right.
Woman.
You're right.
A woman. Go ahead, sexy Nate.
That's a woman. I was with you when that girl kept saying, "You got a little dick."
And I agree. I agree.
He did everything he could, people, ladies and gentlemen, not to get into an argument with this lady. It was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. Chris stayed like she was getting on him. He was like, "Yeah, you're right. I do. Trying to diffuse the situation. The lady would just not have it. Damn AEW fan base.
She was like a TX.
She was determined to make sure. Yeah,
she was. She wanted, and then I'll let Vic go, and I apologize, Vic. It's actually his fault. But she wanted just for me to feed into it so she can do this at the end. It was amazing. All right, go ahead, Vic.
That's what it was.
So now, while I was researching this movie and downloading it and watching things, like I ended up downloading the PlayStation 2 game, and after watching the movie, then I played the game a little bit.
Really?
And mind you,
damn,
I really enjoy it. Honestly, like it's a lot of fun because it's really like a first-person shooter, and it kind of brings in the whole thing, right? So now the thing with this is that so what I enjoyed about that, and also when it comes to the movie itself, is that number one, I feel like this whole thing was a money grab. This thing to me, especially after watching Coming to America, it feels very like a situation where like the audience was pretty much just begging for it. Because, for example, like I feel like in the second movie, in the second movie, John becomes a senator. You see how how the mother is pretty much grown and old, and how the time passed and all of that, and he becomes. I feel like they just should have ended it there. Now this movie right here, I feel like, damn, I died. All right, so this movie right here, I feel like, it was just more than anything a money grab, you know. And I say that more than anything because of this game, because this game is nothing more than you as the Terminator running around, kicking people's asses, shooting, and doing literally every single action spot that was in that movie. And that's what I really think that this was for. I think that people were asking for the action, were asking for just all of this Terminator stuff. They wanted to see Arnold Schwarzenegger with sunglasses again. And I mean, I'm actually very curious to see, and I'm sure Chris will probably bring this up, is to see how much money this made. Because I know that flipping of that big truck, I know that cost money. Like, that was wild, you know. And then not to mention just the beautiful Terminator. And
150 million.
nice.
Over
And the other thing is just
in the box office.
like,
Yep.
in
What
2000,
was the budget?
Says Lifetime. That's what I'm finishing out now. The biggest one was Judgment Day, 204.
so now mentioning the technology, like 2001 is a time where things are just starting to get faster. We're going away from dial-up and getting away from and starting to do things much faster. The whole era of paying AOL for the entire service and everything, plus the email and all of that, is gone, right? So now the fact that she can literally scan blood and identify somebody, that was just awesome as hell. The type of computer that she was just very advanced, and I really appreciated it. The way that she could just manufacture out of nowhere different guns and different weapons, that I really appreciated, because it made her seem more like a much more advanced Terminator. But I will say, I feel like more than anything, this was fill-in, because there was a demand for it. You know what I mean? I think, you know what it reminds me of? The last 3 movies of Star Wars.
Sexton, let me ask you a question real fast. I try to get this out. What sequel ain't a money grab?
I mean, no, because the thing is, the second sequel,
Good question.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
T2,
Every sequel's a money grab.
no. I mean,
But
it's
not
very,
just that.
it's very easy to
Yes,
just
they are.
it's very easy
Just
to simplify it that way.
Yes.
But look, T2
okay.
was back in the 90s, and then this one comes out like a decade later,
Mhm.
because the demand was there, right? And that's why I say it's just like Coming to America. You know what I mean? They made the first one, which was a hitter, and then it took like 30 years for them to make a second one. Why? Because the demand was there.
It was a money grab.
It's enough.
The demand was for it 20 years before. They didn't put it out.
You look at Terminator 2, and then it just fits with the story. It fits with everything. This movie, unfortunately, has absolutely no mention of John ever becoming a senator or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, they pretty much just bring up the whole thing with him and then his mom and Papa and the Terminator, and everybody's running around shooting, and they got the guns, and they got Arnold with the bike and the sunglasses, and everybody's like, woo! You know what I mean? And then you play the game, and you Arnold, and you running around with a big ass.
I don't know nobody who ever played that game with you in my entire life. I'm dead ass.
No,
I've never seen nobody have the Terminator game.
You know what? I have to agree with Mike. I've never seen anybody play that game. But shout out to you, Vic, for doing your homework and bringing the material to the exam. I appreciate that, because not everybody thinks about doing that. I mean, E said usually she has pictures and she didn't bring them. Oh, she did bring some pictures. That was good.
I'm not gonna lie, the game is fun.
No, I didn't.
I'm glad you're
I
not
brought a
lying.
picture. I
You
brought
got
a
a
picture of
PC
Scott
game?
Peterson.
Game and cinema is
You
two
did.
different things. That game was subpar. It was like a 2 out of 5. And that's
We're talking
coming
about
from
the game or the
somebody.
movie?
The game. The movie, like you said, as far as action sequences go, action set pieces and things like that, I mean, it's not so much as we can expect from an action movie. Like, at the end of the day, yes, we're not sitting in there trying to get our minds blown because of the plot or things like that. No, that's exactly what we wanted. Some shooting. We wanted to see some robot action. Absolutely. So it did deliver
And boobs
there.
grow.
Yes.
And boobs grow as they're talking to
I didn't
cops.
ask for that, but I wasn't going to decline it either.
Damn,
Me
there we
neither.
go.
That it's the icing on it. But yes, definitely. I
Icing
like
on
how
it.
they icing on the
On the
Ice on the
cakes.
cake.
Yeah, was that she was a sexy Terminator. She could have just been like a, just a really built.
She didn't need all that hair.
She could have been an
Yes,
Arnold.
she
She could have been
did.
like an Arnold
Tie that shit
clone,
up like
a
just
damn
as a
mermaid.
female. But they made
She
her
could have been
sleek.
China.
Yeah, exactly. She could have been a big 6-foot, bulky, a match for Arnold, but she
What are
wasn't.
you
She
doing,
was
Mike?
everything
What are you doing?
Arnold wasn't, and I
Doing
like
her.
that she was so.
She's about the
elegant.
same size as the T-1000.
She
It
has
might
some
be
curves
him.
on her. She's
Let's-
fast.
It might be him with a
She's more
makeover. You don't
advanced.
even know.
We have to snap. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and clarify some numbers here. This movie made $150 million. I'm sorry, $112 inside of the United States and Canada on a budget of $200 million, but worldwide it grossed $433,371,000. So, did someone make his money back?
I got that.
It's actually the highest. I'm sorry, it cost the most money to make this movie, more money than Terminator 2, which came out over a decade later. But the reason I mention that, because that's when movie budgets increase. But the reason I mention that is Terminator 2 was had the biggest budget of any movie prior to its time. Now I think it's
and this movie didn't have James Cameron either.
Ironically, I think it's Justice League. It's either Justice League or Batman versus Superman is the highest budgeted movie of all time. Yeah, have you seen the names and the star power and the CGI in that movie? Yeah, no doubt. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. But let's go ahead and talk about how I enjoyed this movie, right? This movie, how I enjoyed it, how I didn't enjoy this movie. Let me see. It was like so many fucking ridiculous scenes in this movie. We already talked about this. Shout out to you for this. What a diabolical way to scam blood. I know she has to come out and being a villain, but really, and here's the most ridiculous scene in this movie. I'm surprised nobody mentioned this. Does nobody remember?
You know why I didn't mention that? Because I didn't think the mother's gonna drive the whole way like that. When he pulls up there like that.
How was she driving?
Yeah, because if he's dead, his foot's not on the damn pedal. Maybe it still was. I don't know.
And when it happened, she came to a complete stop, turned around, and accelerated. I'm like, what is going on here, right? But you had to make it look menacing because he punches through the guy's chest. Also, first time you seen it, who knew that guy, the fiance guy, was going to die? Like, I saw him. I said, "Oh, you're a red shirt." You knew immediately. Like, you have no role in this movie but to die an evil way, right? Like, that's all your role is to die.
But we
can't believe
dying either way. They just showed him cutting and the blood on the picture.
Shout out to John Connor, because I thought there was no John Connor was going to be worse than the last little boy in Terminator 2. Then he grew up, and then I saw this piece of shit. And I'm like, wow, charisma a little lacking. And when he asked a few times,
young man John Connor.
They cast Ed Furlong, but he got kicked out for substance abuse.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So
it's like, I'd rather see somebody with substance abuse, because this guy, right, he's there, and he's down himself on the movie, right? Where's that picture? We haven't used it in a while. So here's John Connor, right? So he's sitting there, and he's doubting himself. He's like, "Oh, I don't think I can do it. I'm going to kill myself." He's acting like a little bitch.
His mom died of leukemia.
And dude, Arnold's like grabbed him by the neck. He's like, "Look, I'm not your last guy. I killed you, mofo. Right? I killed you, and I will kill you again. Are you going to man up and rule this world, or what? What is going on?" Because he's acting like a punk the whole time. What is going on here? Why do I want the little crackhead back? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know why I want the crackhead back, but I want the crackhead back because this John Connor is killing me, right?
You, John Connor, what you doing? I think people act like they the person that's in the thing and don't think this man has been told since he was a kid that he has the fate of the world in his hands. People don't want that fucking responsibility.
And he lost his mom, his supreme leader.
That's all I'm saying.
He was never a little kid. He was a grown man at the age of 11.
The only thing that made him kind of pussified in this movie,
don't say it,
was when he bluffed like he was going to shoot him.
I was about to go there, right? Even Arnold says, "I calculated 83% chance your bitch ass ain't going to do it." Right? I calculated 83%. And it wasn't because your woman who has more balls than you sat here and said, "Let's do this." And then he turned around and said, "Okay, we're going to go ahead and do it." Right, but I'm still gonna lie to your asses because I don't have to tell you the truth, and I'm gonna make sure you get this bomb shelter because motherfucker, Judgment Day is happening. Did you not hear me?
He said from the beginning, it's inevitable.
There's no way to stop it, and that's actually why I actually appreciate this movie. But we want to find out if I like this movie after this small commercial break. Find out what we're reviewing on Thursday and find out what we're reviewing next Tuesday. Now, let me explain something, disclaimer, before we hit Thursday's movie, okay?
Oh, shit.
This movie was picked before the debacle at the Oscars. I swear to you on everything that is me. We picked this movie before the debacle at the Oscars, and I started to cancel it because I ain't trying to get slapped. It end up looking like a little bit.
We should probably cancel it. I think we should probably cancel it.
A little bit of John Collor myself. No. Ladies and gentlemen, find out what we're reviewing on Thursday. Find out what we're reviewing on Tuesday. Stay with us. You're watching UPRE.
How am I supposed to fit in with these guys when you've got me set up as an outsider?
We are outnumbered by machines. Humans have a strength that cannot be measured.
This thing is something we've never seen before.
My name is Marcus Wright.
You think you're human?
I am human.
I know he's not the enemy.
If we stay the course, we are dead! We are all dead!
Again, I've seen them all in the movies except for the last two.
It's a universe inside a universe.
I'm sorry, hold up. I messed up. My bad.
How am I supposed to fit in with these guys when you've got me set up as an outsider?
G.I. Jane. Why don't they just get it over with? Call her Joan of Arc.
In the final chapter of Ladies. What was that? Ladies Who Hustle, right? Ladies Who Hustle. We are going to talk about none other than G.I. Jane, starring none other than Demi Moore. We haven't talked about her since A Decent Proposal. Looking forward to that one. And like I said, that was picked before.
Disclaimer: I actually chose Kill Bill over it, and then I backed out. But I did pick this because I told you, E-Boogie, I had just got finished watching A Decent Proposal recently. So when we thought about the movies, what I wanted to do, remember, Chris, I told you I had one, I forgot what it was. It was League of Their Own at first. And then
all I'm hearing is bitty.
I chose this. Yeah, I chose this. I don't care. It's a great movie. Give a fuck.
Stand by it.
I need proof.
It's a good movie.
You gotta.
Oh, I can show you proof. We got text messages.
We got the timestamps.
We have the timestamps.
We got the timestamps. I wouldn't play you like that, Mike.
This was last week. I picked
only Chris would do something like that.
I picked this movie last week. We have the timestamps. It can be proven. But listen, like I said, you heard before the show, before we went on, I told you I was watching A Decent Proposal. And that's where the thought came from. Because I had just got finished watching Demi Moore, and then it was our theme for the month. And I thought about that. It's a really, I'll tell you right now, I love the movie.
Vic, what you think?
Well, I mean,
right. That's where I'm at.
But Vic, no, he's in the damn chat. We picked that before that happened.
The show has been good to me, so I can't say that this is one of those coincidences or anything. I'm gonna just say, you know what? Yeah, cool, and I look forward to watching that one.
I just want to let everybody know. I really, honestly, almost changed it simply because I ain't trying to.
But it wasn't real.
Let's not even.
But anyway, it's G.I. Jane coming up this Thursday. Choose to watch if you will. I'll wear a mask. And then Tuesday, we'll be reviewing the next Terminator series. But today, we're talking about Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Let's go ahead and start talking about it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, final thoughts. We'll start off with a special guest, of course. Travi, 2 times?
2 times?
Thumbs up.
Final thoughts on it. It was a decent enough action movie. I like the female Terminator aspect, but we need it as a culture. No. But I'm still gonna give it a thumbs up anyway.
E Boogie.
Okay. Was this movie entertaining? Yes. How was it entertaining? By how bad it was. If I would go by Chris's parameters, is it better than Batman? The Batman?
Wow.
It would be a thumbs down. But I'm a human being who believes in redemption arcs, so I'm gonna give this movie a thumbs up.
Hey, yo, it's Mike.
Absolutely a thumbs up. I've seen all these movies in the movie theater except for the last two. I love Salvation. Can't we talk about that one as well? Absolutely love that movie as well. Sorry.
And Vic. It's hard for me to call you Sexy Nader. Okay.
Clearly, I'm busy. I'm giving this movie a thumbs up because it's keeping me kind of busy. You know what I'm saying?
So busy you're playing a video game in the middle of a show. All right, let's go. So, thumbs up, thumbs down for me. This movie has so many stupid ass parts to it, I cannot stand it. However, I think it was actually a good close to the franchise. Right? Before it gets to Salvation, because that was the intention. Salvation is supposed to start a new trilogy.
Right?
Yeah,
supposed to start it over.
Supposed to start a new trilogy of it, following 1, 2, and 3, but a new one. And this one, I think, flowed a little. Now, they changed a lot of shit, but it was easily explained because they had a different course because they supposedly stopped Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought the way they did it and the way they ended it was actually pretty well done. Because it's letting you know no matter what you do, Judgment Day is still coming. Right? And that was an interesting twist. Another part of it that I would think detracted a little bit about it is we went from 2 rated R movies to a PG-13 movie. And that part made it a little bit strange, right? Shout out to Die Hard. If you start off with 2 heavy rated R movies and then you go to PG-13, you can see a bit of a difference. Now, it wasn't the worst.
It was Jim Cameron. It was them losing Jim Cameron. James Cameron, sorry. Jim,
but you could tell how they lightened it up a little bit for more people, right?
It was a money grab.
Yeah, it was a money grab, but everything Vic says talks about.
I wonder what would have happened if they would have stuck with the horror theme. Because one of my favorite things was in the first movies when he ripped the heart out. You know what I mean? And you
he punched through somebody's chest. He punched through somebody's chest and drove, but
he uppercutted him.
He did. Like that was pretty.
In the meantime, this movie getting a thumbs up. You know, my parameters. He just mentioned it. Is it better than the Batman? Hell yes, it was. Thumbs up for me. 5 thumbs up for this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us here at UPRE. Please make sure that you join us on Thursday for none other than G.I. Jane. Can't wait to talk about that movie. And then, of course, we also watch that, Chris. And then, of course, also, if you're a big fan of us here on Unpopular Review, you know we have a wrestling channel. You know we have a gaming channel. Speaking of gaming, we are starting our own WWE 2K22 on the PS4 and 5 league. Please make sure that you.
Man, after the Xbox, you son of a bitches. You sanctimonious son of a bitch.
Please make sure that you reach out to one Jeffrey Butler or Ronald P. Jackson to see if you can be a part of this Creator Wrestler League WWE 2K22. Also, we have the Family Feud showing up every other Thursday. If you and 3 other jabronis would like to be a part of this as a family, and you think you could beat somebody else's family, you go ahead and you send a message to anybody in UPR but me, and they'll sit here and let you know who to talk to about that. And
everybody but me.
That is it. Make sure that you join us every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for anything as far as wrestling. For E-Boogie, for Hey Yo, it's Mike Knox, for Sectionator, for Travi 2 times. I'm the Executive Consultant, and we'll see you right here next time on UPRE. Good night, everybody.